climate change as much, but we do talk about, so, imagine 2 years in the future. You're reading headlines, our temperatures have gone up again, the floods that we had in 2022 are nothing compared to what we're seeing now. In other parts, there is wildfires. We look at the map. So where is your house? Where are you living? Imagine yourself, in 2 years in the future. What does that mean to you? What does that mean to you and your family? What does that mean to you, going to work? What does it mean to your kids that are at school when a wildfire happens and suddenly the roads are closed? How are you gonna get there? What are you gonna need? What we're trying to do is really create those conversations about where people listen to each other. They're small tables. We only generally play with 4 people around one board. Can be 8 if they want to team up. We've had families do that as well, like that parents wanted to bring a child along to do that together as a family, which is totally fine as long as they're comfortable with this type of conversation, because it can be a little bit hard too. But to really start thinking about, so what is it that I can do, firstly, which is where most people start actually, to help with coping with these things. So what can I do to our neighborhood? What can I do to together with my neighbors? What can I do to help with the retirement village that is up the road that we know is going to run out of food if we're in this type of situation? And then really start thinking about, okay, now you said that was something, as in 2 years or 6 years in the future, we run 3 types of scenarios. And what does that mean to you now? What can you actually do now? Don't point the finger to local government, actually, that's what we're trying to do. But think about yourself as your first responder. Yeah, I think it doesn't really come to a surprise to anybody that a lot of it is to do with connection. Community resilience is much greater when there is community connection, and also bringing people along to the game is much easier if there is already some sort of connection, something that makes people trust that they where they're going to, where they're coming into is a safe space with others that doesn't have to be same, but others that they can trust or feel that they want to spend time with. What also has worked really well is actually building those connections through the game, where people suddenly go, I have never spent time talking to people that own a home, spending time with people that are renting, and talking about the same issues as in the wildfire, but really suddenly realizing, oh my gosh, you have such different issues because of the same thing. Like I know that I'm looking after my house and all that sort of thing, where people that were renting were talking about, I don't have a water. Where can I store spare water to help if there is a fire? I don't have that space. What do I do? So from a community resilience perspective, that really meant that people started going, oh, I know that I have people that have a rented house next door. Maybe I should go and spend some time with them to sort of see how we can share and tell them that they can come here if something happens, and intergenerational conversations were amazing around these games. Like where the young people often started getting overwhelmed when we started going through some of the scenarios where there was other people that shared some crises that they have gone through and said, well, actually, we have gone through this crisis and we are still here, and we can help you work through that. And if we do this together, then we can do this together, and we can build up that resilience together. So that's been really amazing to see that, which is what we were hoping for, but you never know if it's going to happen, but it did. One of the big shifts we do see is what I sort of alluded to, is that people often start with an individual thinking. When I say I suspect that is not necessarily an indigenous way of, like, the most people that we have gotten through would have been white, I would say, so far. And not that we, that it's not that we haven't tried, but we haven't been able to. It's only been a short time to get other people through. But I have a very individual sort of, I need to look after my family first, and that's what I'm going to focus on, and I'm going to get solar panels, and I'm going to get a water tank, and I'm going to do a veggie garden so that we as a family have enough food. And then through the game, people suddenly realize, oh, actually, it's not just about me, it is about the people around me, and I have the opportunity to actually help with a lot more people than just my own, and people have really, you see that happening through the game, and that's a really beautiful outcome of it too. The takeaway really is that you have control. You have, weather events are happening, but it's about how you react to it together. And that, and for me personally, actually, it is that shift from individual to community that I really hope that everybody experiences as part of the game, because that is how we are going to be, more thriving in communities. Whether it is because or just in emergency situations, or just in general, right? Like, how much better is life if you talk to your neighbours and you share things with them, or when you have too much food that you actually do go out and share it and say, hey, do you want some, or that sort of thing. So that's really the main message out of that. People don't even realise what they can do often. And it is about encouraging to sort of go, so what are the things you like doing, or what are the things, your sister would call you for, sort of thing, and they go, oh, but they ask me for the recipe for blah, 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 and then you go, well, actually, obviously, you're good at cooking, so maybe you can do something with that for when there is emergencies and cook for the neighborhood, or something like that, or often things that have, the simple things, people start with simple things, which is also good. Like, people suddenly realize that actually growing a veggie garden is a good thing, because then you have, healthy food at your hands, or that sort of thing, or that people realize that, there is all these things that potentially can happen because of rising temperatures and that sort of thing, that there is more to it than just protecting yourself against floods.